What's up, everyone? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Colin. My name is Colin Egglesfield. I am broadcasting to you live from my mom's place. So mom may be walking in here at any moment. So just if she does, don't be afraid. She's graciously allowed me to stay here for Mother's Day. Hope you guys had a great Mother's Day yesterday, and wishing all the moms out there lots of love and lots of big virtual hugs for all that you do. You guys do so much for us and support us. And as I get older, I just appreciate my mom more and more. And we've been having some really great conversations. And if you haven't had a good conversation with your mom lately, I would say the next time you see her, don't just hang out and say, "Hey, mom, want to grab some dinner?" I would say write out 5 to 10 questions that you maybe have thought about, like what was life like when she was growing up, or what was her parents like, and maybe some questions that you just maybe never even thought of, because as our parents get older, obviously they're not going to be around here forever. So I've just been having some really great conversations with my mom and just really getting to know her better. And just wanted to again say happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. And that being said, thank you again to everyone who came to the Inspire Retreat in Scottsdale, Arizona 2 weeks ago. We're already planning our next one for November, and we're putting together a Celebrity Inspire Retreat in October. So I'm super excited about this. I want to say a big shout out and a thank you to Chrissy Kling from Good Karma PR in Los Angeles. She's been so gracious in helping me put all this stuff together. And it just goes to show you that if you build it, they will come. If you have a dream, if you are inspired to do something that means something to you, just get out there and start putting the steps in place to make it happen. My guest tonight has done that very same thing. And, some of the things that we talk about here are innovation, entrepreneurship, health and wellness. And my guest tonight, I'm really excited to have her on here to talk about her health and wellness journey and how she has gone from fashion to the world of food. But before I do that, just want to say again, for everyone who came to the Inspire Retreat, you are going to be receiving your 90-day Agile Artist Planner very soon. We've got them on order. Finally, it has only taken me 3 years to get this 90-day planner finished, completed, and it is at the publishers right now. And this thing is going to be a game changer in the way in which you approach, game plan, and put your goals and your dreams in place to actually make them happen, so that someday becomes today. Because most of the time we have our dreams or our goals about what we want to do later on in life. Some of us may want to write a book or write a script or start a business or go travel the world to somewhere. And a lot of the times we just let life get in the way, and we just allow the day-to-day stuff prevent us from really taking actionable steps in making our dreams and our goals happen. So this 90-day planner is your way to start connecting with all of the components of who you are in mind, body, and spirit, to game plan and put in place over the next 90 days, whatever it is that your biggest goals and your biggest ambitions in life are all about. And I'm not sure if Ashley, my guest tonight, maybe had a premonition about my 90-day planner, because she has actually done the very thing that this planner does. So we're going to be talking more about that. And I'm having a live event in Scottsdale, May 29th, to launch the 90-day planner. So if you are in the Scottsdale area, or if you want to come into Scottsdale, we have 30 tickets available for this exclusive in-person launch party. I believe we're almost halfway sold out at this point. So if you're interested in coming out, you can click on the link in my Instagram bio, which has more information about the event, about the 90-day planner, and stay tuned for more on that. But without further ado, ladies and gents, as I mentioned, my tonight's guest is someone who is an entrepreneur and the CEO creator of a company called Prevail Jerky. And it is a health and wellness company that she sent me some samples of her jerky last week, and I've tried it. It's amazing. I love healthy snacks, and because I'm someone who also has I'm allergic to quite a bit of stuff. And we were just talking before we jumped on here, Ashley and I, and she was letting me know that she too suffers from oral allergy syndrome, and she suffers from celiac sensitivity as well. So all of you out there who have gluten sensitivities and allergy sensitivities, it is difficult to find good food, good snacks that are healthy for you, that don't have all the crap and the chemicals that we are so accustomed to in this country consuming. And with the rates of cancer and so many other diseases just skyrocketing in this country, it is incumbent upon us to really start looking at what we are putting into our bodies. And tonight's guest, she's going to be sharing with us her health and wellness journey and why she created this company, and why I would love for you guys to try out her beef jerky, because it's not only good for you, it is some of the best stuff I've ever tasted. And it is great for traveling and great for just throwing in your backpack when you are hitting the road or traveling as much as I do. And my guest tonight is also a mom, and she's going to tell us about, again, her journey going from the fashion industry to where she's at now, where she's running this company. And she's based out of Chicago, so she's just down the street actually from where I'm at right now, since I am visiting my mom here in Chicago. And she's going to tell us a little bit about what are some of the reasons why she started the company. So from health and wellness perspective, if you have any questions about what it is that you may be dealing with, and some of the chemicals that we have in our foods that the food industry seems to be okay with. But I'm curious to ask her some questions, and you are encouraged and welcome to ask some questions as well by typing in the chat here, and just asking anything you may want to know about allergies and celiac disease and anything else related to health and wellness and food and entrepreneurship. Because again, what I love to talk about on this show is having a dream and actually turning it into a reality. And some people have dreams and some people have great ideas, but it's one thing to have an idea, and it's another thing to take it and put it and create it into an actual company and turn it into reality. That is a completely next level when it comes to making things happen. And I'm really curious to talk to her about her journey, her obstacles, and the challenges that she faced in accomplishing her dream of creating this company, and what it's like to actually be, running this company and getting it into stores. So all of you out there, you budding entrepreneurs and current entrepreneurs, you're going to be in store for a great conversation tonight. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Miss Ashley Kohn. What's up, Ashley?
Colin. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to just talk all things food and health and all of it. So
awesome.
Ask away.
Well, I'm excited to have you on the show tonight. And again, thank you, Chrissy, for making this happen. Thank you, Nicole Maiden, for making this introduction as well. A lot of people to thank here, but for right now, I want to say thank you for taking the time to hop on Coffee with Colin and share your insight and knowledge about all things health and wellness and entrepreneurship. What do you say?
All right. So do you want me to tell you a little bit about, how I grew up and why, food allergies kind of became my thing? So I started getting, I'd always had like seasonal allergies. And as the years would go on, around when I was about 16 years old, I really started having a lot of these oral food allergies like you're talking about. So carrots or strawberries and things that we would have in our garden, and I would eat them, and immediately my lips would swell up, and I would be, everyone would just, hand me a Benadryl, and they're like, oh, that's weird. But, no one really took a deep dive into why was I getting those oral allergies. And, years later, come to find out, pesticides and all those things there. So as I was getting older, I started becoming more and more allergic to other foods, even raw potatoes. My mother would be cutting them for a potato salad, and just those enzymes that are in the air, my throat would close up, and it was just really horrible. I would have hives everywhere. And as I got older, I just started to really eliminate so many different foods from what I was eating, because I would just get allergies, and I would get these fat lips and all of this. So I got to a point where I was just not really very healthy, and my body wasn't retaining nutrients, and I was really only eating chicken and rice, and I just wasn't getting balanced meals, and I was sick all the time. I was diagnosed with gout, and I was in my 20s. That's not a disease that a 20-year-old is getting. That is, an old overweight, somebody that is not eating just chicken and rice. And I had arthritis at a very young age. I always had a lot of acne. And I just was not, I wasn't very healthy. And so as I was years later, I was, my mother was diagnosed with celiac finally. And she's like, I think that you might have this. And so it's, I would go to an Italian restaurant, I would eat pasta, and I would come
Mhm.
out looking like I just was 9 months pregnant. And I was, is there something, is this what everybody feels like? I just couldn't digest the wheat. And so I finally was tested and I did have celiac. And so they put me on a gluten-free diet. But a lot of the gluten-free foods out there contain a lot of other additives. There's dairy in there. There's a lot of other preservatives in there. Sometimes, they're adding a lot of salt in there because they don't have the wheat. So it was just, high in sodium, high in preservatives, and I just wasn't really feeling any better. And so I finally really took a deep dive and looked at what I was eating and the food that I was eating. And I just really started to cleanse everything out. I went on bone broth diets and, come to find out that I had a leaky gut. And so all of this food was permeating into my body, and my immune system was going into overdrive because these little pieces, micro pieces of carrots and all these other things were going into my system. And so that's why I was having these allergic reactions. I mean, had to go into the emergency room and my lips were just like massive, looked like I had two shrimps. And, they didn't even know what it was. They were like, oh, they just put me on steroids to take it down. But no one was looking at the root of the problem. And so, and I think it's, a lot of doctors, they only take a small portion of their residency on nutrition. No one is really looking at the food and the food system and all of the preservatives, that are put into our food. And so I really went back to almost, what my great grandmother made and what my great grandmother ate. And so it was very wholesome, and it was all, everything was homemade. And so I started to feel better. I was able to get off all of my medications that I was on, and I have, better health, more energy. I can control my weight very easily. And I feel better. I have a lot more energy, and I just am overall healthy. And now I can eat many of those things that I couldn't eat before because my body, has healed itself. I have a healthier gut. And
Really?
so, my children also have celiac. And so we've always lived on a paleo diet because that works for me. So we eat high protein, tons of vegetables, and we have no dairy and no grain. And that's really what, works for me. And so there are a lot of other, we use coconut milk. I don't use a rice milk or a soy milk or an oat milk or anything like that because those are really inflammatory to my system. And so my husband was making this jerky for us at home. And I would be at work and I would be traveling for work and I'd be in the airport and all I could eat would be a banana and a hard boiled egg. And I would look inside all the snacks there and everything had cane sugar or chemicals that I was trying to avoid. And I was just starving. And then I came to it, it was kind of my aha moment. Like, you know what? There's a lot of other people out there that are suffering from autoimmune diseases or food allergies, and they just can't get delicious high protein snacks. And so my husband was making this jerky. It's delicious. It's cherry wood smoked. And so we took a look into the jerky space, and he tried about 100 different jerkies out there because there's a lot of jerkies. And I could only eat two because most jerky out there contains soy or cane sugar and is very, very high in sodium. And then a lot of them have a lot of chemicals that are just not good for you. And so we really wanted somebody to be able to prevail through their food with our food. And so I wanted to be able to have a quick on the go snack that was high in protein. We offer 12 grams of protein per serving. So each bag is 24 grams. We have no cane sugar. We use coconut sugar, which is lowest on the glycemic index. So you're getting just a little hint of sweetness, but it's not going to spike your blood sugar. So it's great for people that have diabetes if it fits within their diet structure. And then we also use organic spices. So we've got organic garlic and we use matcha in there. So you're also getting all of the health benefits from the matcha. And it's just a trace amount. It's not adding a lot of caffeine in there, but you still are able to read. We've got organic garlic and all of these other delicious organic ingredients. And our whole thing is that, healthy food shouldn't have to taste boring. It shouldn't have to taste cardboard. It should be able to taste delicious, and we should be able to get it on the go. So that is really how Prevail was born.
And, a lot of the talk I'm hearing about online and stuff is just the amount of sugar that is in our diets. And, typically, from what I've read that the human body is the normal amount of sugar that the human body, like a healthy amount per day, is around like 20 something grams, I think. Sure. And the average American at least gets around 70 grams of sugar every day because it is in everything. It's in ketchup. It's in all of our sauces, our salad dressings, obviously our sugar, like our cereals. It's just crazy. And the more I'm just seeing online on Instagram and just these different, doctors who are speaking out about health and wellness, obviously I'm seeing like seed oils are not good for you. And also that the paleo diet is on the healthier spectrum. And so if you could just share with us a little bit about the paleo diet, is otherwise known as the caveman diet, right?
It is. And, everybody's going to work and find what works for them, right? And so even though it's called like the paleo diet, for me, it's more of like a lifestyle. So what we're really doing is we're eating foods that are anti-inflammatory. So we're eating grass-fed, grass-finished beef. There's a lot of beef in America that they say grass-fed, but it's finished on grain the last 20%. So one, cows are not meant to eat that kind of grain. And, they're putting all sorts of junk in the grain. There's soy in there. There's candy. You've heard that there's those horrible stories with antibiotics are mixed in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the cow their stomach is not able to digest that. They're supposed to be grass. They're herbivores. They should be eating grass. So what that does for us is that gives us that grass-fed, grass-finished beef. It's higher in omega-3s. So that's better for us. It's also got the higher in the CLA, which is the better for cancer, helping us fight cancers. So it's the good fats that we need, and it's easier digested in our system as well. So if you're eating a cow that ate grain its whole life, then when you're eating it, then you're getting that grain in your system. And I am very, very sensitive. And so if that cow had eaten corn and things like that, then it just doesn't sit right with me. So, it's really important that we're getting low sugar. There's a lot of names out there that the food industry hides and disguises the sugar, dextrose and sucralose and all of those things. So if you really aren't up on all of those words, you almost have to be a detective when you're out shopping, trying to find things that just have ingredients that you can read. And so we really pride ourselves on being low sugar. People ask us all the time for a no sugar a product, but when you're making jerky, you have to have a little bit of the sugar in there to help break down the meat, because we are a full muscle meat. We're not shredded, we're not ground, where it's actually, we take a top round, it's sliced, and then it's chopped up, it's marinated. And then, that's how we smoke our jerky in actual cherry wood smoked ovens. A lot of jerky out there is going to use chemicals. It's fake smoke. It's naturally smoke flavored and all that. So it's really about getting back to that authentic food that really makes you feel good and also taste good, because you shouldn't have to be on any type of a lifestyle where you're eating, high protein and low sugar, but you shouldn't feel like you're starving yourself or you're not eating what you want to eat. So, paleo diet is really about eating a high protein. It's, wild fish. It's, free range chicken. It is, grass-fed, grass-finished beef, and then tons of vegetables, tons of salads, tons of root vegetables and all that. We just don't eat really any rice and grains.
Okay. And for, this is obviously, you've been doing this now for how many years?
I really found out in my 30s. So in my early 30s, and I'm 50 now. So for 20 years, I've really been kind of looking at my food from a different perspective and realizing that because just by me changing what I was eating, I was able to get off all of those drugs that I was on and really be able to thrive. And I kind of found like the root of the problem just by eating cleaner, healthier food. So.
And so how old is Prevail? When did Prevail?
We started right at the pandemic. Always a great time to start a business, right? When you're trying to get out there and sell your product and go door to door and everything's closed, but we made it through. So we got into distribution in 2021. And so it was really, it's about perseverance. When you believe in something, you just have to really just fight through it and get the word out. And, I just knew that there were so many moms out there and working parents that are looking for snacks for themselves, looking for snacks for their kids, that they felt good about eating themselves, but also that their kids loved. And, it's funny, we have flavors like umami and lemongrass, and kids love those flavors. So, kids, when they have like a cleaner palate, when they're not eating all that junk food, they really enjoy all those flavors of, delicious real food. So it was about, really pounding the pavement and getting in all of our local stores, in Chicago, and then, on Amazon, and branching out and just trying to, talk to people and, wanting people to, I think it's a story that a lot of people can relate to. Somebody in their family has food allergies, just like you've got oral food allergies. So somebody, either their child's allergic to soy, or, sesame just got put on as the ninth allergen. There's a lot of dairy out there. We have a lot of parents that email us and say that their children are allergic to corn. And so there's, there's a lot of different people out there. And I think that they want to be able to enjoy safe snacks on the go when they're traveling, or it's a great lunch replacement. It's great to eat as a with a side salad for lunch. So and you don't feel, it's great. You can chop it up and put it in an omelet and all sorts of stuff. So a lot of different ways to eat it and enjoy it.
So I would say for most Americans, at least, we're so used to just going to the grocery store, and it seems to be like the convenience is the priority, or has been the thing that has been the forefront of buying decisions for families, and convenience and price. And the food industry, they do such a great job at marketing and advertising with all the bright colors and all the food dyes and all this stuff. But I think with what we're really seeing is with the rates, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, of cancers and all these health issues just skyrocketing, we've really got to take a look here. And obviously, if we don't buy these foods in the grocery store, that's the only way these big industrialized food companies are going to, I think, really pay attention and listen to us. And I think we're starting to see some of the stuff where we're seeing like zero sugars and stuff. But just real quick, in terms of these alternative sweeteners, you mentioned dextrose and sucralose and these things. High fructose corn syrup, I've heard, is one of the worst things that you can be consuming. What about some of these so-called natural sweeteners like stevia or honey and some of these things?
So certainly anything from nature. So honey is a great sweetener. Maple syrup is a great sweetener, but those are going to be a little bit higher on the glycemic index. So the coconut sugar is going to be the lowest on the glycemic index for sure. And for me, stevia is extremely processed, and they use, as they are, in nature, stevia is a plant. And I think that if people wanted to, you could actually grow it in your garden, you could dry it, and you could grind it up, and you can put it into your food. But when it comes, in the forms of how it gets to your grocery store in a pretty white little powder, stevia is green to begin with. So how does it get white? So it's this bleaching process, and it's a lot of chemicals that are used to actually, put that in. I found that stevia is really kind of almost like a hormone disruptor as well. So there's a lot of different things going on with stevia, where I think in its natural state as a plant, I think that probably would be fine to eat as a sweetener. But as it's processed, and like you said, all these things are added to make it more marketable, because here all of a sudden everybody went, ooh, zero sugar. So how do we sweeten things, right? So what can we do? And so it's a marketing tool. And, I think that, people have to really kind of take a step back and realize that there are natural sugars that are in the wild and that come from nature. That's really what our body can process. And the stevia, while you're not eating sugar like a honey or a maple syrup, you're getting other things that are hurting your body, instead of that natural sugar. So obviously all sugar in moderation for sure. But,
and fortunately for you, you had a husband who was adept at, I guess, making meats and cooking meats, and like, what did he just throw some, like, how do you do this? Like,
he always
allergy syndrome, and like I wouldn't know the first thing about how to like take some beef and like slice it up and cure it. And
he's just a great at-home chef. So when we first got married, I literally could make Kraft macaroni and cheese, and that was it. I was not a baker. I was not a cook. And so, as you learn that food really can heal you, I really started doing everything on my own. I started baking on my own. My kids would go to my kids' preschool cupcake looked like a train wreck. But as I got older, I know how to pipe a rosette on my kids' cake so that it looks professional, so that they don't feel embarrassed, but it tastes delicious. So he really, it was kind of a challenge for him because I had all these food allergies. So how can he make something taste delicious? What could he use? We use coconut aminos instead of soy sauce. So that's giving you that like sweet and savory feel in there. And that's in our umami flavor. So we don't have any soy in any of our products. But he was able to come up with these really delicious flavor profiles without using chemical experience or if people use food chemists and all that. He really just took a look at really a lot of great paleo recipes online, and then he kind of just dove down and found things that worked for us. And then we use cardamom and ginger and garlic in our original
Mhm.
flavor, and that's not a typical jerky flavor profile. And then also in our lemongrass flavor, it's almost like a beef pho, more Vietnamese flavor, where it's kind of like lemongrass and beef, and that you would eat together. And so
Yeah.
really like really kind of a culinary experience, because we wanted to be able to have something that was unique but tasted delicious, but also all of those other ingredients that we add in are good for your body. Garlic is great for you. Onion is good for you. Obviously, the matcha tea we put in there is really beneficial to you. So we wanted to make it kind of, doing different things as you eat it, and we wanted to be enjoyable, but also good for
Mhm.
you at the same time.
So why do you think like these big food industry companies, why can't they do this? Like, why is it having to take a mom who with allergies to be the one that is revolutionizing the way in which we make foods? Is it a cost issue? Like compared to like the jerky that you find at the gas station, how much of a price difference is prevail compared to
So
what's out there?
what we in like in Erewhon or any of the grocery stores, our retail on a bag is 6.99. So it's right in line with a more artisan type jerky or with better ingredients. So we are definitely right in line with a better ingredient and better for you jerky brands out there.
Mhm.
But Jack Link's is, or Oberto's is another one, Tillamook. They're just such a massive company. They own such a huge market share, and they are really, they're not buying great meat. It's, you talk about the pink slime and all that kind of feedlot beef, where the cows are not happy. My beef comes from New Zealand with happy cows. They just don't care about the ingredients, and so that's how they can get their prices down. And it's, so people think that, oh, look, I can buy a pound of jerky for $9, and they think that they're getting a good value, but in reality they're eating food that's making them sick, and then they're going to have to pay out more in medicine, or their health. They're having heart problems, they're having cholesterol
Mhm.
problems. And so you really have to take a look at where you're spending your money. Do you want to spend your money now and eat food that is healthy for you, so you can live longer and last longer, and you can play with your kids, and you're not tired all the time, and you have more energy to do your job and be your best self? So it's really about what we put into our body is what we're going to get out of our body. And so I find it's more of, I understand that I do my best. I don't buy organic all the time, but I really try my best. Or when it's on sale, you kind of have to pick and choose. There's certain things that I don't skimp on, obviously my meat, because that's really important to me.
Mhm.
And so I think you have to kind of find a way to like budget that into your lifestyle, and you do the best you can, and you just take baby steps. I was really hard for me, because if the first, when I started really going for this paleo lifestyle, rice is in everything, corn is in everything, and it's such a daunting task, I think, to some people, that they feel like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, I can never do it, or it's too expensive. So you just have to kind of start with one thing at a time. Is it your cereals? Is it, just buy frozen vegetables when they're on sale, like those kinds of things, instead of canned vegetables. Like, there's just different nutrients you can get when you're eating closest to fresh that you can get. Eat more salads. So it definitely, the people like at Jack Links, they have a hold on that market share, because they've been doing it for so long, and they didn't have a lot of competition for so long. And then there are those companies like that they're going out and buying the smaller artisan companies, either
Mhm.
one, because they don't want to take the time and the effort to go ahead and do it, And then they also want to see if there is a need for it out there and see if the customer is actually really looking. And, we're seeing a huge trend now. Even you think about Costco years ago, Costco never had organic food. And now they're the largest organic grocery, in the country. So they're seeing a shift where moms are coming in there, families are coming in there. People are looking more towards their health. I think after COVID, people really started taking a look at, what am I putting in my body to help my immune system? I'm sick all the time. Why am I sick all the time? Maybe I should eat healthier. I have a friend whose husband was diagnosed with cancer, and they changed the whole way their family ate. Their daughters now eat a very, very clean diet. And, he really enjoys our turkey jerky. But they found a way, they changed their diet because they realized that what they were eating was making them sick and him certainly not getting better. So.
Michelle Young is asking, what did you do to break down what you were allergic to? Like, it's the elimination diet, right? Were you just taking?
That's exactly right. So years ago, I did all the skin testing, and I had realized years ago that I was allergic to corn and soy right off the bat. So I already knew that that was a problem. And,
corn, they do the needle testing.
Skin, and they have a little measurement, see how big the circle goes, and hope you don't go into anaphylactic shock. It's a horrible way. And so, and then it was really trial and error where I realized I would eat something and it's interesting because carrots I still don't eat to this day. And I can eat them cooked. I can eat them cooked. So I had like that frozen vegetable medley that we all have with those beans in there and all of that. And I was like craving those carrots and I just ate them. And then all of a sudden I just had a horrific hives everywhere. And so it was really a lot of trial and error for me. And then as I really started cleaning up what I was eating and stopped eating the preservatives in the food, then I would introduce them back in one at a time. So that way I could tell what worked for me, because what may work for me might not work for you. And so it was really, it was a trial and error diet about bringing things. There's a lot of different diets out there that you can try. The GAP diet is another one. SCD diet is another diet where you can look into, and those are really elimination diets where you're really eating a lot of, and it's really bone broth based. Both of those are bone broth based, where you really cleanse your body. And, the bone broth is really just made with seaweed, salt, vinegar, bones. And you're eating that as a cleanse. And people, bone broth is a huge craze these days now. But I still prefer to make it at home. I put oregano in there and onions. You can do it with roast the carrots and all that in there, and then strain it all out. You can do it with chicken bones, fish, and with beef bones. I prefer beef. Everyone kind of has their own flavor profiles that you enjoy, but it's definitely very healing, and your body is getting all of those micronutrients and macronutrients just from that soup. And it's almost like back in the day, chicken soup for the soul, all that chicken soup back in the day, that's what they really gave people to get them better was chicken soup, because they were making it from the bones. So it's so many nutrients are in there that are really soothing and helpful for your body. And so that was really how I did it. And I went on a bone broth cleanse really for several weeks, and then started introducing eggs back in. I've never had a problem with eggs, and then avocados and just different things. And there's different diets. Like I said, the GAP diet, GAP, and the other one is the SCD diet. And either of those diets, just kind of depending on your elimination diets, where you start off with the bone broth, and then you start reintroducing back in those foods. And usually depending on, your system and how damaged your gut is, you can really start introducing all of those back. And it's really the raw vegetables and things are later. Cooked vegetables come into play. There's a lot of different, low FODMAP is another one that's a really good one, where they have the red, green, and the yellow sections where you can start introducing the items into your body too.
Okay. Awesome. Great information. And I've tried the lemongrass and the umami flavor. Amazing. And I put on the screen here where you guys can order the Prevail beef jerky and turkey jerky, which is on Amazon, Costco, Air One, Jimbo's, and over 2,000 locations nationwide. And on this entrepreneurial journey that you've had, I've I've known some friends who, um, the food industry is an incredibly difficult market to penetrate, just because of the preservation issues and the shipping and that sort of thing. Have you found it more difficult? Have you had any like resistance from any of these bigger food companies, like trying to prevent you from entering into the market? My question, I guess, is related to anyone out there who may be uh, budding entrepreneurs and thinking about getting into creating their own food companies and trying to get into grocery stores and selling online. What would you say has been some of the obstacles and challenges you faced that maybe you weren't aware of since you started this a few years ago?
I think, one is obviously, I think my jerky's amazing, right? So every, entrepreneur thinks that their product is the best. And so I
Mhm.
think I thought at the beginning that you would have an easier point of entry because, we're a woman-owned company, we're a plastic neutral company, we're top 8 allergen free. There's no other jerky out there like that. So for me, I would think that, and I know we built a really great community online. We have a lot of these moms with food allergies. There's a lot of other food allergy companies out there. Simple Mills is one, Partake is another one, where you have these kind of needs that were filled by these products. And so I think that, you kind of forget out there about like the big money and like these older brands, these legacy brands out there that control so much of the space. So for a lot of those retailers out there, they're like, well, why would I try you when they'll pay my marketing dollars? They're going to put ads, they're going to give me money
Mhm.
for ads. And so those types of things. So I think that has been a little bit more difficult. But then you also meet so many great people. Like we're also on Hunger Root. I don't know if any of your listeners, have that. And we're on Thrive Market as well. But
Hunger Root?
yeah,
What
Hunger
is that?
Root is one of those where they fill your fridge. So they have really healthy snacks, and then they have they'll come and you can buy your groceries. So they have a whole thing where you can like fill your fridge, and they've been a huge proponent of our brand from the very beginning. And so it's those people like that that understand that they're tired of the mainstream. They're looking
Mhm.
for something new. They want to support brands that are out there that are really looking at the consumer. And so those are really great proponents. Erewhon has been a great proponent of our brand since the very beginning. And, we're on Costco.com as well. So that's really another great place where, we've been able to get the price of our jerky down for that 10 packs. So we do 2 10 packs on Costco.com, which is really, affordable for people. And then Amazon, obviously, that's where, we sell it ourselves on Amazon. But so I think it's just really about trying to build your community
Mhm.
first, right? And then, going out and having that community go into Whole Foods and, try to get your product into those stores. And then I think it's about persistent, right? Polite persistence. So, I'm interview with Whole Foods one more time. So it's like, is it time? I do know there's a couple of companies that they're not doing business with anymore. So can I take those space? Because I just
Mhm.
know, we have customers that email me all the time. Well, when are you going to be in Whole Foods? When are you going to be in here? So I know that there's a desire for it. I think you just have to really pursue, really your dream and know what you're doing is the right thing. And, we've had so many customers and you hear so many great stories of moms with their kids that are so excited that they're able to have this, and or they can't eat protein, but now they can eat my protein because there's no soy in it or something else. Like that's really why we're doing it, is because it's the joy that you feel when you're helping somebody through their food. And it's just something that you can enjoy together with people. And so it's really about polite persistence for sure.
How many employees do you have?
You know what? It's my husband and I, and we have a couple people that help us in our warehouse. And then, obviously we have contractors that help us out with specific projects like Chrissy and other people like that.
Yeah,
But we really are doing it all ourselves still.
that's
We're really
incredible.
just trying, our product is really important to us. And so we don't, skimp on what we're putting into our products. We're very transparent
Mhm.
about that. I, put a post up that we were trying to look for an alternative to the orange juice we're using in our umami flavor, and we tried it. Could we do it with a freeze dried powder? Like, what could we do to help get this out of this in this particular kind of time crunch that we had? And all of it had maltodextrin in there, and it was just mind blowing to me that we aren't in this day and age that we can't just have orange juice and freeze dry it and then ship it. Why is there a preservative in there? So it's an anti-caking agent, and a lot of that maltodextrin comes from corn or wheat, and so I'm allergic to all those things. I don't want that in my food. So we really pride ourselves on doing it ourselves and making sure that it's done right.
And you mentioned before we jumped on here that you used to work at
I
Nordstrom's as a
did.
buyer, right?
I was a buyer. Yeah, it was like the best job in the world. I could just go shop. I was shopping. I was shopping, and got to travel all over the world. So it was an amazing, amazing time in my life for sure. So.
And do you feel that having that background helped you with creating this and getting it off the ground and getting it into stores?
Absolutely. I think that that certainly helped because, you would be in buying meetings and it's a similar situation to where I'm in a meeting with a grocery store buyer, helping put together presentations and things like that. So even though I'm not doing the same type of thing, those skills that I learned, working with people, managing people, all those kinds of things I learned, doing during that time, I was definitely able to, use that, doing Prevail Now.
Awesome. And do you like when you're putting this together? Because I'm growing my coaching business and I'm starting to publish my books now. In terms of being a CEO of a company, do you map out like your next 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year plan? Like, how do you look at the long term vision of the company and implement that vision?
I mean, certainly you have to have a plan. There's the year plan, the 1 year plan, that's where you're going to be in 3 years and 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because it's like monopoly money, right? You're like, oh, well, I think I'm going to do this in a year. So it's all kind of imaginary. But I think that you have to have those types of goals to help push you through to the next level. So how are we going to do that? Our first, thinking about where we started with getting our product in one store, right? And it was so cool that, you had your product in one store. And then, here I am where I've got a friend in an airplane and she's taking a picture of somebody with my lemongrass jerky that she doesn't even know. And she sends it to me. And she's like, oh my gosh, look, someone's eating Prevail jerky on my flight. And like, that's so amazing. So, I think you have to put together those plans, and then you just have to have those, check-ins with yourself and assess, are you moving away from those goals? Are you not achieving that goal? What can you do to help you achieve that goal? And, where's a roadblock? How do we help solve that problem? So, certainly I think it's really important to have those goals and set those forward. And then, having those check-ins is really important too with, do we need to pivot? Do we need to have, even I think COVID taught a lot of people that you didn't want to have all your eggs in one basket, right? So
Sure.
are we too much in grocery? Do we need to be more online? Do we need to be more? So you always are kind of maybe making that pivot and kind of weaving throughout and trying to see what's best for your business and kind of go where your customers are kind of leading you, right? If you have people that are telling you they love these retreats, do you need to do more of those retreats? Like that kind of a thing. You
Right.
have to kind of really go where your customer lives, because if you don't, then they leave, right? They go
Sure.
somewhere else. Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. If you can solve a need in the marketplace, that's because a lot of people will have an idea of like, well, this is a cool idea for me, but if it's not really fulfilling a need, it's gonna unless you're a massive celebrity
Right.
who can just put something out there and you know make it sell, then it can be a difficult journey. Tammy Holzbach is asking, do you make any sort of dog brand of jerky?
We do not, but I will tell you that my dog, if you open up a bag of our jerky, he will come running out of a dead sleep. So we do have people that do eat the jerky, give the jerky to their dogs. It isn't, it does have coconut sugar in her. So, sometimes they use it as a treat. But it's funny how dogs love it. If we're at a trade show and people have service dogs and what have you, they
Mhm.
love the smell. And it's funny because it's real food. They can sense the difference
Mm,
between a fake product and a real product. But
mm.
we do not make dog treats as of today, but it is certainly something because I am a dog mom, so I love dogs. So it is certainly on my future wish list too.
But it's totally healthy for dogs if
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. And we have people that use it as a dog treat, but it is not meant for dogs. So
Okay. What's something you would share with us that you didn't know that you've learned through this whole process that was a surprise for you?
um I think that I didn't really understand like the time frame of how things go to market. I
Mm,
really, I knew from my business back doing, fashion at Nordstrom, I understood like the time frame on there, but for some reason I felt like fast food would be faster to market. So like for example, Whole Foods will see your product, you send in your product for sampling in December, and if they're on time, and then they probably won't look at your product until February. And then they may decide to bring you in maybe in June, but they're not actually going to get the product in store
wow.
till October. So that's like a whole year's worth of time
Yeah.
that somebody could have been enjoying your jerky, like the time frame. And it's all of, and I'm just, citing Whole Foods here, but a lot of grocery is very long. It's a very, very long
Mhm.
process from actually the meeting, the yes, to actual time on to getting on shelf. So that was very surprising for me for sure.
And are you self-funded with all of this?
We've done some angel rounds. We did friends and family
Yeah.
at the beginning, and we did do a small round seed round last year. So we
Awesome.
are yeah, just as we grow, it just takes a lot of money, and so we probably will do another raise before the end of the year. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Ashley. That's amazing. It's incredibly impressive. And if you guys have any other questions for Ashley, we'd love for you to type them into the chat here. And again, you can grab yourself some Prevail jerky available at Amazon, Costco, Air One, Jimbo's, in over 2,000 locations nationwide. And you can check out their Instagram at Prevail Jerky. And as far as the website goes, that's prevailjerky.com, right?
Yes, prevailjerky.com for sure. And we can give all of your listeners a coupon, and they can go on there for Colin 15 if they want 15% off. So Colin 15 for 15% off at prevailjerky.com.
That's right. And I'm going to put it up here so everyone. And this is on the website, right?
Yes.
All right. So guys, you guys have to try this stuff. It is amazing. I've got some sitting waiting for me back home in Scottsdale. Which one is that?
This is the original flavor. So this is, it's got cardamom, ginger, garlic on there. This one is the turkey flavor. It is delicious. So we use turkey thighs, not turkey breasts in here. So you're getting like a really meaty
Mm,
feel, plus all the micronutrients that are in that thigh meat that is so much better for you than the breast. And then this is the lemongrass, which is a really like clean, delicious, like light flavored. This is our spicy here, and this is we use Morita peppers in here, so it's gonna be a nice heat, but not too overly spicy. It's not like ghost pepper. It's not gonna burn your face off or anything like that. But if you enjoy a little bit of spice, it's really good. And then this is our umami flavor, and it's our take on a teriyaki style, so it's gonna be sweet and savory. It's really delicious. It's got orange juice in there, and all of it's got the coconut aminos in there, so it's really delicious. So.
amazing. And do you guys have any plans for expanding your product offering?
We do. We are working on a taco flavoring, taco flavor. We certainly will probably end up doing sticks like down the road, but right now we're really just sticking with the jerky. There's a couple other flavors we're going to work on, like a hot honey turkey we're doing. that will have honey in there as a sweetener. So just really keeping the ingredients really simple but delicious. So we'll probably do turkey is one of our most popular flavors. So we're going to probably come up with a couple other turkey flavors as well.
Okay, awesome. Is it difficult to get into gas stations? Because I do a lot of road
It is
tripping.
really difficult to get
Is
into
it?
gas stations. It is. You have to be in like specific distributors, and they want to have a commitment. And so I am trying to get into some gas stations. We are slowly working our way kind of in there, but there really needs to be a healthy offering. And even though 7-Eleven, a lot of their customers were asking for a healthier
Yeah.
option. When they're out there and traveling on the road. So for sure, I would love to I'm always working on getting in there.
Yeah. Well, any of my listeners, any one of you out there who knows anyone who owns like Shell or Mobil or
That's
Loves
right.
or any of these like truck stops along the way or across the nation, you guys have to get in touch with Ashley here to get prevailed beef jerky into gas stations because that's when I usually want it the most when I'm out there.
Right? When you're on the road and you need that sweet and salty fix. Exactly.
And the airport. So
Yes.
you can get into the
Yes.
airport
We
as well.
are in O'Hare. We are in O'Hare Airport, but
All right.
yeah,
Excellent.
we're in there,
Excellent.
Terminal 5. But we are definitely airports is another great spot for jerky for sure.
Amazing. Awesome, Ashley. Well, thanks for your insights, your knowledge, and for sharing with us something so incredible that I know you guys are all going to love because I've tried it myself, and I can attest it is some of the best stuff I've tried out there, and way better than the cardboard beef jerky that you buy at the gas stations.
That is not the jerky that you grew up on.
It is.
That is for sure. Yeah.
That's definitely for sure. All right, Ashley, are you ready for your favorite 6 movie related questions?
I am ready.
You're ready to impress us with your movie acumen?
Sure.
All right. So, what is your favorite movie of all time?
There are so many good movies out there, but since we have all these other categories below, I will say that anytime I catch this on TV, I always watch it. So Shawshank Redemption is an excellent movie. A lot of it's just such great acting. It's such a great
Mhm.
story. Love Shawshank Redemption for sure.
What would you say the theme of that movie is, and why does it resonate with you?
You know what? I would have to go with perseverance for sure. I think
Mm, yes.
obviously prevail. Andy prevailed in the movie, so I just think that the whole movie is just about like dedication, right? I mean, how long could it have taken him, to get that hole in the wall? Just like the whole thing, the whole, and just so
Mhm.
many trials and tribulations, and so I would say perseverance for sure.
Yeah, especially persevering against the big institutions out there that
Oh yeah, for
can
sure.
hold us back.
Yeah.
What was your favorite movie growing up as a kid?
So I was a huge Star Wars fan, still am, but I loved Return of the Jedi. Cannot. That's an excellent. Love, love, love that one. Like I do like Star Wars: A New Hope, but Return of the Jedi. The
My
Ewoks.
favorite,
I mean, come on.
yeah, my favorite was Empire Strikes Back.
Yep, that's a good one. All are
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
So,
I started my kids young on that. They've seen them. They've seen them all the time.
so was it the Ewoks that
Oh yeah,
was
and I
the?
think Princess Leia in that one was
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
Just the whole thing, yeah.
oh yeah. Have you? I'm sure you might have dressed up as her for Halloween.
Absolutely, and my
It
daughter even
was
was
these,
here now
yes,
is Ray. Like it goes from generation to generation. But
sure.
any Star Wars is obviously the best. Yeah,
And what's your favorite romantic comedy?
I have to go with Pretty Woman. Can't. There's
Great
a lot
answer.
of good rom coms, but that's a great one.
Great answer. And what would you say you liked about that movie?
I think it's a really like great like love story that is just really simple, and I think it teaches you to like not judge a book by its cover. So
Mhm.
I think that's really a great. It's one of my favorites. So
That's a great theme to that movie.
yeah.
And what's your favorite comedy of all time?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. There's good rom coms. I love really anything with Steve Martin in it.
Ah,
Anything with
yeah,
Steve Martin, and I am a big fan of his current, Murder Only Murders in the Building, but which I
I
know is a
haven't
really
seen that
comedy,
yet.
but excellent. Yeah, anything with Steve Martin. My kids really like the Pink Panther. His Pink Panther movies. So
Have you seen The Jerk?
yes, The Jerk, excellent.
Yes,
Such a
one of
great,
my
such a great.
favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
And who is your favorite actor or male character in a movie?
I would have to go with Harrison Ford.
Mm,
All the
great.
Indiana Jones, The Fugitive, just so many great movies. Obviously, Star Wars. So
Hmm.
you know,
They don't make them like they used to, do
yeah,
they?
mm-mm,
Well, just a true Hollywood
right? He's a
iconic
legend.
movie star.
Yeah.
And who's your favorite actress or female character?
Currently, I really am liking Emily Blunt. I think she's
Yeah.
delightful. I think she's just so witty. She's been in so many great movies, and she can do comedy, and she can do, Oppenheimer. Obviously, she was great
Yeah.
in, but I just think she Mary Poppins. I mean, that's iconic. So,
Yeah.
Devil Wears Prada. Can't, So I think she's fantastic.
Yeah. Super versatile.
Yep.
Awesome, Ashley. Well, thank you again for your time and just sharing with us something so amazing that I know a lot of people are going to love. So be sure to check it out. And again, everyone, you can, if you go to prevailjerky.com and use my code Colin15, you'll get 15% off your order. And you can also go to Amazon, Costco.com, Air One Jimbo's in over 2,000 locations nationwide, and you can check out Ashley and her amazing jerky at Prevail Jerky. And is it the same? Do you have TikTok and Facebook and all that good stuff?
I do not have TikTok yet. I did have it. I don't have it. Instagram is my best place to see me at. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And the last question I'd like to ask my guests before they take off is, of all the things out there in the world and all your experiences that you've had, what would you say is the thing that inspires you most?
I would have to say, being a mom and making the world a better place for my kids, even if it's only through jerky, right? So obviously, it is only jerky. I'm not solving the world problems, but it's just my little bit to try to help moms out there and help
Mhm.
people with themselves so that they're not sick and they feel better so that they can be better. So it's really, my kids are really inspiring to me. Just want to be able to make the world a better place for them, and if I can do my little part through jerky and being able to share what we can do to help people feel good if they have food allergies, or just one little baby step at a time, that is it.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Ash,
Thanks
and
so
wish you
much.
all the best.
Thanks,
All
Colin.
right. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Again, amazing conversation. And thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm definitely going to want to go back and watch this and just take in some of the inside information she gave about just eating healthier. And it's just awesome to see someone who's taken their dream and turned it into their passion and turned it into an actual company and a reality. And just goes to show you, like, as Ashley was talking about, if you believe in something enough and if it means enough to you, it's worth pursuing and putting into making it something that it actually can benefit the world. And, I think she's so right in terms of just, even if it's just helping, a few moms out there and helping her own kids, if it's just even helping one person out there, if it makes a difference in one person's life, it definitely can mean the world, even if it's just one person. And just wish her the best. You guys definitely have to go to prevailjerky.com and enter Colin15 for 15% off. And again, thanks for being here tonight. We've got a few more episodes coming up over the next couple of weeks. And again, we still have some tickets available for my Agile Artist 90-day planner launch on May 29th. We'd love to see you guys out there. And as we roll out the planner in the next few weeks, I'll be doing some more promotions for it and showing you what it can do for you in terms of how it can help you fulfill and pursue and create your dreams and fulfill on your goals and the ones that matter most to you, like it has done for Ashley. So thanks again for tuning in tonight. Have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you guys all soon next week. Take care.